Yo, what is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome to another Football Manager experiment here on my channel. Today I've got for you guys Football Manager predicting the 2015 winter transfer window. With a week left of the transfer window in real life, I thought it'd be interesting to fire up FM and give it a chance to guess what has happened and what will happen in the kind of remaining week of the transfer window as you see this video. So here we have FM, it's the 1st of January, it's already made one mistake in giving Messi the World Player of the Year. Ronaldo did get second, so I guess it wasn't that far off. And today we're going to fire it up with not long left of the transfer window and see what it anticipates for January 2015. So anyway guys, I'm going to go forward now to the 3rd of February, which is the close date of the transfer window in England, and I will join you guys there and we'll take a look at what FM predicts. Okay guys, so it is the 3rd of February, transfer window is closed, loads of action going on, not so much that perhaps mimics what's going to happen and what might happen in real life, but here we are. So we'll start off with the major failed transfer, I guess, just because I can't look at all the failed transfers. The one here is John Stones having failed to make a move to Manchester United. Not enough time left in the window, so that move fell through. So anyway, looking at the major transfers that FM's picked up here, Jean Moutinho has joined Chelsea from Monaco for £34 million. I can't personally see Chelsea going after another centre midfielder. I don't think it's going to happen, not while they've got Fabregas in the form that he's in going forward. I guess they have got Matic, who's been hit and miss a little bit this year. For the most part, he's been very solid. But then they have got other defensive players like Ramirez, who are more than capable of playing defensive. So I am going to question that one a little bit. The next one in was Rafinha, of course, playing for Barcelona, a player who, according to FM, is going to follow in the footsteps of Alexis Sanchez and make the move from Barcelona. As you can see here, £25 million paid for Rafinha. This one, another centre attacking mid for Arsenal. I'm pretty sure Arsenal fans wouldn't be too happy with this, but he is young. He has got bags of potential. However, for the fee they've paid, he's not that great. Not in FM terms, at least. And I think there's other areas in the park that Arsenal would much rather improve. Most notably here, you can see Arsenal are the top spenders as well and the most active team, and they actually got the 3rd biggest transfer of the window, and that was Cuadrado, a player who of course has been linked with Chelsea so far this year. They signed him out on the wing. Again, a little bit of an odd one when you consider they have Alexis Sanchez, but clearly they want to bolster the wide areas. Perhaps players like Oxlade-Chamberlain and Walcott just not cutting the mustard for them here. But you can see they've signed Cuadrado, who's actually been linked with Chelsea. So a little bit interesting, that one. As you can see, had a good year here for Fiorentina, but he is a very good player. So that one could happen. There's links of him coming to England. So FM, I'm going to give you half a point for that one if it happens. If not, then you can tell me when you watch this video down the line and it hasn't happened how wrong I was. Anyway, looking at the other January transfer window stuff here, you can see Memphis Depay joined Arsenal. He was another one of the Arsenal recruits. Zuniga also joined Arsenal. For some reason, they're just going crazy after Serie A players. Another Colombian there. And the other one of Arsenal signings was Matip, who may be a little bit better for Arsenal. A centre-back. I'm pretty sure most Arsenal fans would be happy with that. Kind of surprised that they're the most active team, but there you go. So there was a lot of transfers here besides the Arsenal ones, which I've just chosen to focus on that I could highlight. What I've actually done is I've created a shortlist highlighting some of the most notable transfers. I will include a save file down in the comments, and the reason for me doing that is that I know a lot of you guys will probably want to have a look at this in more detail. I'm trying to keep this video not short and snappy, but I don't want to drag it on too long. So these are the major transfers I've picked out. I'm not going to go through them all, but if we just look at some of the bigger ones, you can see here Jordi Clasie joining Monaco from Feyenoord. So that's a pretty big transfer for a Dutch player to move to France for £12 million. I'm going to be honest, my knowledge of the Dutch league isn't that great. I know I have a lot of Dutch viewers, so if you want to let me know, is that plausible? Let me know. Next one, Jackson Martinez going to Bayern. Now this one might seem really random, but I think Martinez is probably overdue a move away from Porto. I'm sorry to Porto fans and Portuguese fans in general, but I'm surprised he's not moved to one of the kind of big three European leagues, the big three in my eyes, at least being Spain, England and Germany. But here, made the move to Bayern Munich. Other players, Dragovic joining Liverpool. Liverpool signing another centre-back. Could I see that happening as a Liverpool fan? No, but I kind of wish we would have another centre-back in times like these. Although, to be fair, Liverpool have picked things up a little bit, but they did pick up Dragovic here. How much did they pay for him? They paid £8 million from Kiev, which isn't actually that crazy a transfer, really, price-wise, when you consider they spent triple that on Lovren. Brendan Rodgers, what were you thinking? Anyway, next one that's quite kind of interesting, I guess, is Klein. Nathaniel Klein, who of course has been linked with Manchester United, making the move over to Tottenham for £8.25 million from Southampton. That's quite a big transfer. I can kind of see this one coming in. The interesting thing about this one wasn't necessarily just the fact that Klein went to Tottenham. It was the fact that actually Southampton did bring in a replacement, and that was Kieran Trippier from Burnley, a player who had a fantastic season last year in the Championship, perhaps hasn't been able to roam forward as much as he did last year for Burnley. Perhaps that's limited his kind of ability and his performances in the Premier League, but I kind of found that interesting the way they kind of picked him up as a replacement. Speaking of replacements, you'll notice Will Hughes also joined Southampton to fill in the void that perhaps they have a little bit of at centre mid in real life. I don't know, Schneiderling's linked to be leaving. I don't think he left on this. Take a quick look real quick. But yeah, Schneiderlin's still there, but there was a lot of talk of perhaps him leaving, so maybe a player like Will Hughes wouldn't be the worst replacement. Very different in terms of how they play, and the interesting thing about this was actually the fact that Derby went straight out and picked up Dele Alli, the MK Dons centre midfielder. How much did they pay for him? £2.3 million. Dele Alli's been a very prominent player. I don't know so much in recent months in League One because I don't follow it that closely, but certainly he was making a bit of a name for himself in the lower leagues, so perhaps seeing him move up the leagues isn't too crazy a thing. Sergio Samper making the move to Ajax got my eye and caught my eye a little bit. Reminded me a bit of Bojan moving to Ajax from Spain. Similar move, really. Sergio Samper, of course, in real life, pretty hot talent. I don't think he's played too many games for Barcelona. He's a player who, for years, FM's really hotly tipped to come good. So perhaps a little bit surprised to see him go. One of my favourite transfers I noticed was actually the acquisition of Chris Solly for Hull. No idea how that happened or why, but it happened. Volland made the switch to Atletico. That was a big transfer that caught my eye. As you can see, Volland, a fantastic young talent in Germany. And you can see here the Hoffenheim youngster made the move for £12 million here. I actually think it would take a lot larger fee in real life to see him make that move. I don't think he's going to be let go of Hoffenheim anytime soon, if I'm honest, for that kind of money. But who knows? I've not heard much of him being linked away, but it happened. FM predicted it. If it happens in the next week, you know where to look. Other players, Ryan Babel. No idea why he's gone to Tottenham, why they've taken a punt on him, but they have for £3.5 million. I almost wish Ryan Babel would come back to the Premier League, if I'm honest. I have a dream about that he might come back. Not for Liverpool, no, but just to see him around a little bit more. Anyway, next player that we'll look at, Odeegard. Gone to Real Madrid in real life. Here, he's gone to Chievo. I probably pronounced that horrifically, the Serie A side. I'm sorry if I have. And he's joined them for a measly fee, and certainly not the wages that Real Madrid are paying him. But he moved, a very bizarre one. That's probably the most bizarre of the lot, if I'm honest, because he usually goes to a fairly big club in Football Manager, but not today. He hasn't done that. Martin Olsen made the move to Crystal Palace in the Premier League. A little bit of an interesting one, this one, because I believe, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure Martin Olsen's been linked with a few moves away from Norwich into a Premier League team in the transfer window. For all I know, he may have even made that move, but an interesting one nevertheless. Moussa Sow joined Newcastle, continuing their trend of signing Senegalese strikers. There's another one for the collection. Not implausible. I'm sure a lot of Newcastle fans would love it if they were to acquire another striker, but not so sure on that one myself. Turan went to Juventus. That was another fairly big one. He joined from Atletico, of course. He's been a staple of their team for the last few years. I can't see him moving away, although, you know, there's certainly other players contending for positions. Whether or not Juventus would allow him to get any more first-team football in real life, I have no idea. But anyway, I don't want to go through this too much, but there's some weird transfers that I'm sure Arsenal fans would love to be the top spenders this transfer window. I can't see it happening with a week left, but here's what Football Manager predicted. If you've got any specific things that you notice in the save, because as I mentioned, the save will be down below for download. Maybe you pick up on something that I missed. Feel free to leave it in the comments for other people. Let them know what else happened here. The other thing I'd say is, if you're new to my channel and you want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button. If you've got ideas for more FM simulation and FM experiments you'd like to see on my channel, feel free to leave them down in the comments, guys. I always read them. I do take on board suggestions and then do videos on them. And other than that, that is going to wrap things up from me. Thank you so much for watching as always, guys. It is me, Jack, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.